Hi, I'm Dex Gelfand, and I'm going to talk about presence, which is a subject that I will probably never be done gaining new perspectives about. I'll probably never be done speaking about presence. And there's at least one broad misunderstanding about presence. And presence is being here, now. Presence is being totally in the moment. Presence is recognizing the uniqueness of here and now. No place you are is a place you've been, because it's not the same place in the same moment. And we tend to rely on projections of our environment rather than actually being present. Because when we're really present, everything is unique and new. It is not the same as it was, because there is then and there is now. And in this moment of now, there is an energy which is itself presence that is emanated by everything and everybody. And to be in the moment, to be here now, is to have all presence, all that is present, to notice, accept, feel, allow, and be all the energies of all that is present. To accept being of our collective consciousness and not separate. If you have the idea, or have come across the idea, that presence is maintaining some particular sense of your persona, maintaining yourself so as not to be affected by the environment, to sort of create some sort of energy shell around yourself, to hold on to you in the face of who or what you encounter, that is actually anti-presence. That is defensive or protective presence. It's not true presence. Presence isn't any form of resisting anything. Presence is having, noticing, having, allowing, being all. When you're truly present, you're with everyone and everything. You're not projecting anything into the environment. You're not holding on to anything. See, that is all part of what I see as the insecurity and fear that we feel about accepting an unknown environment, fear of the unknown, or vulnerability, or such. Actually, the ideal state of existence, as I see it, is to welcome the newness, you could say strangeness, of everything. Think about how it felt in some moments, maybe when you were a child, and everything was vivid, and everything was fascinating, and everything was unknown. Didn't necessarily have to generate any fear at all. It's wondrous. It's a wondrous universe. And when we have something go bad, it's because we're not fully present. We're stuck focusing on some thought rather than having, noticing, accepting, feeling, and being all that is around us. That's when accidents happen. That's when things go bad. It's when you're not fully paying attention. It's when something catches you off guard. It's when you're not present enough to feel the vibe of what's around you now. You know, we get this defensive kind of a thing, or going inward. Okay? Don't retreat. When you do this, that's when things can go wrong. That's when you can be disturbed, upset, or feel like you've been harmed. And our tendency when something like this happens is to become afraid of it happening again and to install new mental programs of what to avoid, what to watch out for. And you're projecting things happening that have happened before. See, when you do that, any self-installed program is a substitute for being here now, for being present with the environment. It's a default. It's automatically reacting, which means projecting a certain way and reacting to that projection. So in essence, when we fail to be fully present, things don't go right. And then when things don't go right, we further distance ourselves from presence. We create personas and we create attitudes that we think are defensive or protective because we get afraid. And then we have automatic reactions to things. And then those attitudes all contain what I call stubbornly held protective attitudes. Their essence is, I will not go there. I will not experience that. I will not indulge in this. I will not make myself vulnerable to the present environment, what could be here. So it's a further retreat from presence. And that's going in the wrong direction. Every self-installed program that we enter into ourselves, all our internal oppositions, which is the source of everything that could go wrong in our lives, they're all done with the idea that they're going to make us safe from something or further some aspiration. But in fact, every self-installed program, which means having an automatic default reaction to things, will always ultimately accomplish exactly what it's intended to prevent. And it will prevent exactly what it is intended to accomplish. It took me maybe my first 7 or 8 years of giving spiritual counseling sessions for this to become crystal clear to me that every single program we install in ourselves as some sort of aid or warning or protection only takes us further from being attuned to our environment, to being with what is here, and only makes us more prone to having difficulties and having things go wrong and experiencing what we don't want to experience and not experiencing what we do want to experience. So what I'm saying is, this solution we'll have tendencies to adopt of making mental notes, okay, react this way in this situation. If you see something like this happening, don't let it happen, retreat or defend or something like that. Or handle what appears to be the same situation when it happens again the same way. There are no same situations. Every moment is unique if you are present enough to appreciate it. The wondrous universe in this moment of now, when you allow yourself to be fully connected, which really means simply don't avoid being connected. Don't fall back. Don't install blocks to prevent your presence from truly being, to experiencing, noticing, feeling, having, being all. Don't install barriers. Don't create distance. Don't create automatic responses as a substitute for fully being present. Any self-installed program takes away from your consciousness of this moment of now. It does not help you. It hurts you. And my clients recognize this again and again and again in session after session after session as we strip all the layers of defensive projections that have us projecting something into now, getting in the way, filtering, so that we're really not experiencing the wondrousness, the beauty, the fascination, the newness of every moment of now, which is when you are at your best, when you're fully conscious, when you're not dismissing anything, when you're not labeling, categorizing, projecting anything, but just being attuned and connected and being our collective consciousness, being us, being within us and all that we create. The solution is never to project. The solution is never to create distance from. That's the problem. That was the problem in the first place with whatever went wrong. Being looking inward or projecting something instead of being fully attuned. If you're fully attuned to now, you're in harmony with everything. You are everything. The more you allow this to be, the better your life will be. Distance, projections, defenses aren't the solution. They are the problem. Fully being present, being here now, not separating your individuality from the collective consciousness and all that we create as such. Do not separate from this. It's beautiful. You know, when you feel like you're in the zone, when you feel like you're in flow is another term that people use sometimes. It's because you're permitting yourself to have and experience all presence. To the degree that you do that, life is a wonderful thing. To the degree that you do that, you have whatever you desire, because it's always here if you're not blocking it with your projections. There is nothing you can't have. There's nothing you can't experience. There's nothing you can't be if you don't get in your own way. So self-examine all of your indoctrinated reactions, projections, stubbornly held defensive attitudes, beliefs that categorize people, that categorize environments, anything that says the moment of now is another moment, or the same as another moment, or equal to another moment, or the way somebody was being at some other place in time is the way they're being now, or trying to create an unchangeable persona for yourself with which to defend and encounter the environment. These are the problems. Now, my practice, perhaps you could call it a paradigm, therapeutic spiritual counseling, is all based on just honoring your spiritual compass, not fearing to be present. This fear of vulnerability, when you can experience what appears to be vulnerability, it's actually safe. I know it sounds ironic, it sounds contradictory, but when you don't fear vulnerability, that's when you're safe. So drop all the energies and efforts. Relax. Be present. Notice. See. Feel. Be us. Be the environment. Be presence. Let us all move in the direction of greater harmony, happiness, love, and desires coming very easily. It's all in presence.